Howdy, my name's Callum, also known as Northern Dice, and I'm going to be doing a full playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game. We're going to go through Hunt 1 and hopefully get all the way through to Hunt number 5 and be able to take out the Sawtooth, which is the big enemy of the core game. I've got it set up, and every single time we switch hunts, I'll probably turn the camera off for my own ease. You won't get to see all the nitty gritty. You won't see the market phase either, because that does take a little bit of management, and it's a lot more of a social element, which I find is better in co-op or competitive games, but either way, you'll see all of the stuff that I'm doing as I'm doing it. We are playing as the Oseram Forgesmith. I have got everything set up, and I can tell you as an outright, the first thing I'm going to aim to do is get rid of this tripcaster, because I have had absolutely zero luck when using them in this game. Much like in the video game, where I absolutely suck at luring enemies into these traps. Oseram is entirely centred around that heavy combat and that stopping enemies from moving, so it's going to be quite akin to what I'm used to with the Karja, which I prefer playing as. But let's see how far we go and see what we can do. So our starting tile is this one over here. So what I think we're going to start by doing is we are going to, straight away, start in tall grass, deal myself 5 cards. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. My cards are all mixed up. Oh no, they're not. I'm using the wrong deck. There we go. This is my deck. That's a fantastic start, isn't it? Yeah, all these have got zeros, so these are level 0. Okay, let's get into it. So, deal myself 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have got a fair few backswing options and one firewire option. I'm not 100% confident with using the firewire, so what I'm actually going to choose to do is we are going to try and go for a massive hit straight away. So we are going to play a backswing attack, which is +2 orange dice with a standardised 2 orange dice from this weapon, but it is 0 range. So first thing we'll need to do is I'm going to need to run 1. He would become alert, so let's find an alert token and pop that on him because he has outright seen me running. Then we will move into his space, use the backswing. Now because he's alert, his armour is activated, so he gets 2 defence, but I get to roll 4 dice against him. And with a critical hit, I can inflict fire as a standard, or with my backswing, I can do an extra 1 damage. And if I damage the target, I can move him in the direction of my choosing, which is quite nice. But hopefully we'll roll a 5 and be able to take him out. Lo and behold, we have not rolled a 5, we have instead rolled 3 criticals. Which isn't that bad, but we gain a single glory anytime we set fire to someone, which is quite nice. And I'm going to choose to do 2 damage, which is effectively going to be 1 damage because of his 1 armour. And I'm also going to set him on fire. Now fire will, for him, make it so that he will take a single damage at the start of his next turn, which is nice, but at the same time not overly helpful at this moment in time because it's not going to kill him. There are some abilities with the Oseram that we can use to make fire last longer, but that'll come into it as we move forward. So now that he's an active enemy, he will activate first. I've done my 2 actions, job is done. So he is going to, if we have a look at his Watcher card, is there a non-alert enemy within 2 squares? Yes, so he's going to move 1 towards closest non-alert enemy. Which means that now this enemy is also alert. But he won't activate because they don't activate when they're alerted in this way. The Strider, on the other hand, will very, very obliviously just continue his purple path. For this one, we need to get 2 hunt points, and our 2 Watchers, which are active now, will probably count as those. We should have taken another health off of him and removed the fire at the start of his turn. So what we're going to do now is, let's have a look at our hand. I'm going to get rid of one of these backswings and we'll draw 2 cards. Another backswing and a Searing Strike. This ability can only be used when performing a melee attack. This attack gains fire and explosive fire. Scrap this card after it is resolved. I think I'll be scrapping that. So we can only do 1 type of action per turn, so we're just going to go straight in and hit him with another backswing. That's our first action, so we'll move into his square. I chose not to move in last time. That is a cocked die, so I'll re-roll that. A blank, that's fine. So we have now done 1, 2, 3, 4. With him having a single defence, that would be 3 damage, which means that he has been taken out, which is quite nice. put all those away. And because we've taken him out, we would gain a single scrap card. Trophy Shot. This player gains 1 glory point, then discards this card. If this card was not drawn after killing an enemy, discard it without effect. We get another glory point. We get a glory for defeating it, which is nice. And I'm going to leave him there to remind us that we have got a single hunt point as well. So that's awesome. We've still got another action. The Strider is well out of the way of that enemy, so I'm actually tempted to avoid this next Watcher. So he will move 1 towards the closest hunter and make a 0 range attack. So I'm actually going to move on to this square, because these can get us more scrap. Round ends, he'll activate, he'll move 1 towards us. He cannot attack us at this moment. This Strider will continue on its merry way. It's our turn again. I said I was going to discard a card because I don't like that ability. So we'll get rid of the Searing Strike. Draw 2 again. Another backswing. And another Firewire. I'm not so sure about these Firewires. As an action, we're going to choose to remove this token and draw 3 scrap. 1. Ancient Statue. 2. Sparker. 3. Chillwater. Very nice. The Ancient Statue. Discard this card during the Merchant step to reveal 3 cards from the Merchant deck and purchase one of them at a cost of 1 shard. We don't have any shards yet, that's really cool. We're then, as our second action, going to do the old classic and backswing, so we'll move into his spot and roll 4 dice. He has got 1 defense at this moment in time because he's well aware of us. So we do 1, 2 and a critical. Because we've done a critical, we can set him on fire, so we're actually just going to do 3 damage, which will be 2 damage effectively because of his armour. And that will end our turn. He's now going to strike us because there's no enemies within 2, so he's going to do a 0 range 4 damage attack. As dictated by this, we will then need to make a dodge move. But we can choose not to dodge after making the evade roll. So how much damage can we evade? 2. So we'll take 2 damage. And damage, as you may remember, is dealt with by discarding cards from hand or deck. And we're going to discard these 2 Firewires. Strider is nearly out of here. If I'm wanting to take him out, I'm going to have to chase him. Cleave, that's more like it. I'm going to choose not to dodge. That critical is mad, so I'm going to choose to use Cleave against him. We're in the same spot, so we don't need to move into him. Let's roll those 2 orange and that blue, as shown by our 2 orange on the Oseram Maul and the blue on the Cleave. Oh ho ho, look at that. So we've done 3, 4 and that critical, so we could do 8 damage, which is more than enough to take out this little robot. So let's take these off, claim our scrap. A blaze, which is very nice. I think I was meant to start with a blaze as well, so I'll draw one of those in a moment. We then get a glory. We didn't set him on fire, so we don't get the extra glory. Why have I got 2 5s here? I'm cheating, I can see it. And then we will need to... Well, we can check for the end of the hunt. I've still got moves. What will happen is, regardless, no matter what I do, he's going to walk off, which means the hunt will end anyway. I was wanting to check this out, but I think I'm going to miss that. So that's not the worst thing in the world. I don't really have any way to show him that I'm here, so I'll end my turn. He'll walk off into the merry distance. We've got the 2 needed to complete the hunt, so the hunt is finished. Which means we take off all these tokens. We would get 2 scrap for being able to solve this hunt, which is very nice. 1, 2. Ah, shards, there we go. We also got a sparker as well. And we would level up. I will go through the level up with you here. We can have a Fire Forged or we can have Ablative Armor. So if we have a look at the cards that we've got for upgrade, which are over here. Ablative Armor, the hunter may discard a salvage card when making an evade roll to roll an additional blue, or, if we don't want to go down that defensive, this hunter may inflict fire to an enemy already suffering from this condition. An enemy with multiple fire tokens suffers the damage and removes them at the end of their activation as normal. So we could actually inflict multiple fire, which is quite cool. I think we're going to take Fire Forged, which means that we're going down this path, which means that we will not have access to Durable or Resolute. But I don't think that's the end of the world. So put these traits under here. I will now go through the market phase off camera and we'll see where we sit. If I do manage to get rid of this horrible, horrible Tripcaster, I'm going to have 0 ammo for whatever I get, so it's going to be a very, very slow start. So pick up 2 stamina cards just in case we need them, and I'll pause and we'll see where we get. Against my better judgment, I have chosen to actually stick with the Trapcaster, and I bought a new one with the whatever it was that I got, the thing that I could trade the shards in for. The reason I've done that is because this one actually gets a dice, and I didn't really want to have to reset collecting new ammo. So this is real play of me playing with a Trapcaster, and I am outright awful, and I know I am, but it'll be interesting. We haven't actually purchased any other cards, so we are very heavy on resources, which is nice. Other than that, we are now taking on a Watcher and a Scrapper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see what we can do. Straight away, lots of fire wires. So we also get a range of 2. So we could be quite cheeky and just shoot the actual Watcher with the trap straight away to try and set him on fire. See if we can't outright take him out with just some fire. So we'll do that. I'm going to shoot a fire wire, 2 to him. We get to, we'll do it as a proper routine. We take 2 tokens that match, put the 4 there. We could do it to there actually. 1, 2. He will definitely go there. So that's quite a nice setup for the trap, really, isn't it? As for me, I'm going to choose to... It's not really a point in me moving, is there? So I will just end my turn there. Let's just see what we can do with this excitement. The Scrapper moves 1, the Watcher moves 1, and would activate the trap at this point. So we remove it, and then we would resolve all its effects. So we get to roll a blue, we get to roll an orange. There's no critical for this, and there's no critical for this. So criticals are at this point pointless to us. But we do get to set him on fire no matter what. So he is now ablaze. Downside is he also is very much aware that we are around. And he is within 2 of that Scrapper. So hopefully this will take him out. This is an unprepared attack. He didn't know we were there. We do 2 damage. We don't get to use any triggers for any critical hits, so that is just 2 damage, and then he would be very much aware of where we are. Because I've only got a one Watcher this time, I'm just going to place his tokens on there, so that's less messing about for me. At this point, when this enemy is alert, any non-alert enemies in adjacent squares, yes, so he is very much going to now choose to move 1 towards him, alerts him, so he would now be alert, which is awful news for us because Scrappers are nasty, nasty. On the plus side, I do think we could actually try and take out that Watcher from those ruins if we choose to run there. So what we're going to do is very much that. Let's draw 1 card. It's another cleave. Cleave's good, so we could take him out, but we're not going to. We're going to go 1, 2, hide in those ruins and use the Trapcaster again. We're going to nail him with another trap. This time I'm just going to hit him straight with it. He'd have taken 1 damage at the end of his turn for the fire. End of the activation, not the start, so I've still got to deal with any damage they may cause to me. I'd roll a blue and I'd roll an orange and I'd be able to set him on fire again, so even if I miss completely he'll be taken out. He gets 1 defense, but that's no match for our 3 damage that we do to him. So he is out, which is mega handy because now this Scrapper's going to activate. What he's going to do is turn around, give us the eye, and hunt within 1 square? No. So he's going to make a 2 range, 6 damage attack. We need to roll our blue to establish how much we can... Oh, we don't. Ruins are fantastic because it means that I can hide in there. These get blown to smithereens, and we can actually dodge into the direction of where he is. Good preparation. We take no damage when we're in ruins, but ruins are a one-trick pony because you get to use them once. Draw a card, and we are going to choose to cleave. The Scrapper has 1 defense, but he has 8 health, so we're going to need a really good roll for this. So, as our first move, we're going to move into a square with the cleave attack and roll blue, blue, orange. And that is an appalling roll. Absolutely awful. That is 2 damage. That's 1 damage. Oh, goodness. That's rubbish. Right. So now I'm going to choose to actually run into these ruins as well because absolutely scared. My Oseram warrior, this big noble bloke with a massive hammer, huge heavy armour, is currently bricking it inside some old ruins because that's just what he does. The hunter is within 1, so he's going to move 1 towards us, make a 4 damage attack, move 1 away from us. He's going to go in, out, 4 damage, but again we are being quite clever and using this. We have no respite from his attacks now. And the other thing about Scrappers is you can't hide in tall grass. If they are one within you, they've got a sensor that you can choose to break off. But when it's just one of them, there's no point. But it does mean that he could do lots more damage to us on top. We'll draw 1 card. Another backswing. We could use the backswing, hit him, move him out, and then nail him with a firewire. That could work quite nicely in our... Yeah, let's do that. So we'll use the backswing this time. So we move into his square. We roll 4 orange. Will not be enough to kill him unless we, by some miracle, roll 4 2s. Coincidentally, we did not. But we get 1, 2 and a critical, so we can choose to do 2 damage. 1 damage, apologies, because I'm not going to use that. Special, instead I'm going to use the special for the hammer and actually do 1 fire damage to him, so I'll get a glory for that. I should have got a glory from the previous one as well, I think. But glory won't count in a solo play, luckily. And then we are going to move him 1 to here. And then we will nail him with a firewire. 2 different attacks, so it's legal, I'm highly believing, but I am going to just shoot it straight to him, so the trap won't even need to be placed. It's going to be an instant activation. We get to roll a blue and an orange. We can now inflict him with multiple fire, so he will definitely get fire on him. And it's 1 blue, 1 orange, so we could do a little bit of damage to him. 3, so it's going to be 2 damage because he's still got 1 defense. So he's currently on 4 health. End of our turn, his activation, again he will move in, he'll make a strike of 4, so we have to remove 4 cards. I'm just going to choose 4 from the top. We got rid of one of our staminas, which is good because I'm not a fan of those cards. And then he'd move 1 back out. We would then need to draw 2 cards. I'm going to keep those cleaves because I like the big heavy hits. And then we've got nothing but backswings. I think we're going to go for a critical hit and hope that we get lucky. He'd take 2 damage at the end of his turn for those 2 fire. So we only need a little bit of damage on him there, which is quite lucky. But it is feeling like we're taking it to the wire because we've only got this much health left, which is the 6 cards that he could hit us with if he was in range to use the distance attack. So let's hit him with... Oh, we dodge out of the way as well. I'll choose not to, I'll choose to stay. We'll hit him with a cleave. Just because if we can hit him with a cleave, we will be able to do that critical. If we get the critical roll. Here's our dice. Move into a square. Oh, we didn't get the critical, but I think we got enough. 4 damage. Yep, he is taken out. Which means that we would get another piece of salvage. I don't think we took one for the Watcher, but more fool me for not getting it. So we get 2 salvage for this guy. So 1. Ruined parts, nothing. 2, metal shards. So the ruined parts don't actually give us anything, which is a bit upsetting, but ah well. And for finishing this hunt, we'd also get 1 salvage. We should get glory, but there's no point in counting it because it still breathes right now. This is an awful card, but this is luckily from this. You barely snatch your fingers away when the machine lurches forward once more. Return the enemy to once the square was killed in, with any tokens it had previously gained. It had gained before being killed, and an alert token if it did not have one. Add wound tokens until this enemy has 1 point. This enemy does not count as having been killed. The player should retain any salvage cards they drew before this one. Luckily that was during this, so we don't actually we just don't get any reward. But I'm counting my blessings because otherwise he would have been back up and striking us again. Yeah, there's no point in counting these in a solo game, just simply on the basis of you are playing to get to the end, you're not competing with someone else. And also, I don't believe the Oseram have any skills that allow you to spend them like the Karja did. The Karja was more about that pride, that spending that glory to really get those big hits. This guy's more about setting things on fire, which I can completely understand. You know, fire's cool. I think that is the end of that round. We will not level up because this was once again another level 1 hunt. So we will just be setting up a new map and getting ready for some more fights. But I do get another market phase, but I'll pause the video for that and we'll see what we end up with in the next one. Okay, so we're now looking at a level 2 hunt and we are against grazers, which are absolutely awful. Because not only are they quite hard hitting, quite sturdy, but they'll run away. And if they get to the edge of the map, they just bolt. And we need 4 actual hunt points for this, and these 2 are worth 2, and the watcher's only worth 1, so we are really in a bit of a bind. We have got no choice but to try and take out both of those grazers. I did manage to purchase a freeze coil, so now my Oseram Maul on a critical hit will also inflict freeze, which is one of my favourite status elements because it removes all armour. Because these nasties all have 1, but as I said, they will run. So a grazer, for clarity, it says, is the hunter within 1 square, move towards them, make a damaged attack, move away. We could get rid of that with a 2 damage on their verta blades, or if not, they'll move 1 towards the nearest board, or remove this enemy from the playing area. That's if they're at the edge of the board, so we need to wait for these guys to get somewhere more central before we can strike. So let's kick off with us, and we draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fire wire, cleave, backswing, and prime the area, finally. Okay, prime the area is my favourite ability for the Oseram because it can only be used when performing a melee attack. Before this hunter makes the attack, you can make a ranged attack first, which is brilliant. So we're going to move sneak 1, so we don't alert, and then we are going to prime the area, which is going to allow us to make a free ranged attack first, which is unbelievably brilliant. So let us use this fire wire to shoot a bit of fire. We could try and set up and place it there, which I'm actually going to do. We're going to do that. So we'll place the 4 here, place the 4 here, because that's range 2. I'm hoping to actually take out that grazer really quickly by just absolutely dominating. He's still not aware of where we are, so now we can use against him cleave, which is our big hitting 2 orange and a blue attack. At the minute he has 0 defense. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, and we'll get to use the critical for this, which is another 4, so he is out of there immediately. He takes 7 big boy damage. So we can then take the salvage card, trophy shot again. Get another glory point, useless to us, but we'll take it. And then we are able to do a bit of running. So let's run to here. No, we started here, so we can't. So that's the end of our turn, actually. So then these guys will start moving. He'll move here. He's going to move here. We could always take the hit by moving to here and then starting a fight with this one. And then I guess if we move back here, it completely depends on how we want to play it. But we need to take both of them out. I think he's the better target. So let's move 1, 2 with a run. We didn't draw cards, apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Backswing, cleave, backswing. No, set another trap here. I think we're going to have to do that. So we'll set another firewire up. trying to manage quite a lot. I do find that solo play is a lot more difficult than two-player cooperative, just because it's divide and conquer. And as much as you might not get really bulky levels, you're able to take more out. I think it's just the nature of the game. So we're currently hidden. So these guys will activate, and he's going to move 1, completely on alert, 2, completely on alert. Oh, I'm not sure how we're going to play this. We draw 1 more card. Another backswing. At this point, we're going to need to start making some moves towards attacking. We could use cleave, which is a really big hit, which I'm going to choose to do actually. So we're going to move into his tile with the cleave, and it's a blue and 2 orange. And if we can roll another 7, we'll take him out immediately. It makes that trap redundant, but it's always there as a backup. We do 3 damage, which is not as much as I'd have liked, but it's a start. 1, 2, 3. Which does make him alert. And for a final move, we're just going to run into here. End of our turn. Active enemies, alert enemies will now activate, and he's going to move into our zone. But because he has, he'll activate our trap card. I've never properly played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I know the phrases. So we get to roll our orange for this and our blue for that. To see what damage we can do, and he's also going to be on fire. Ho ho, yes! So that's 3. And he gets the fire status element, which is brilliant, because that now means that no matter what happens, he's going to be dead next turn, because he's taken 4 damage, 3 because of his armour, 3 because of where he's already at. We just need to tank what he's going to hit us with, which is going to be a 6 damage attack. Let's get rid of 2 of these backswings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I haven't rolled for a dodge, apologies. 2, 3, 4. Oh, getting carried away, taking more health than I need to. End of his activation, so he's now dead because of that fire. Oh, yes. We actually might do this, because now it's just a 1v1. And we've still got that trap there, so he'll move there. I'm not sure how I'm going to position myself though. It could be worth moving. If he gets to the edge of that tile, we could then sneak into the ruins. So if we sneak to here, and I'm not sure. If we sneak to there, let's just leave it. I didn't draw cards. 1, 2, 3. I am losing the plot. It's because I can hear my partner talking upstairs. Let's leave it there with a sneak. He will. Oh no! We'd be foolish to try and do that. Let's use backswing, because then we can knock him into the trap. Oh, but if we're 1 away, then he won't, because we'll be in the same spot as him. Move into there. Hit him with the 2 oranges, which is now 4 oranges because of the backswing card. And if we can do any damage, we can also knock him. So that's 1, 2, 3. He's unarmoured at the minute, so that's completely pure damage. 1, 2, 3, which will definitely make him alert. He'll be knocked into this trap, which is then a blue and an orange with the fire damage as well. So that might have worked out quite nicely for us. 3, which is going to be 2. But with that fire, that's not too bad. And we get the fire token. Pop that there. And that's now the end of our turn. Because we snuck and then we struck. Snuck and struck. The old 1, 2. He'll activate, he'll move 1 in, he'll do 6 damage, so we'll have to discard 6 cards. But we can dodge. 1. So we take 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. If at any point you cannot draw cards as necessary, then you are out. KO'd. He'll move back into his zone. We get 1 card. We're more likely to do the damage we need. No. We're going to use prime the area, which allows us to make a free ranged attack beforehand. Because that way then if we miss, we can at least go for the melee attack after. So blue and orange against him. That's a cocked die. Oh, we don't do it! But he's on fire. Again. He'd have taken 1 damage to that previous fire. Sorry, I'm getting overly excited. Now he's on fire again, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next round, he will die no matter what. We have done it. I think just for that glory, we're also going to go for the backswing and hit him with 4 oranges to see if we can't knock his block off. And we do. So he is gone as well. Goodness. Jeez. Didn't enjoy that one as much, and I think I'm missing big steps in terms of what I deserve, because I don't think I picked up a salvage for the other one, but that's now a more fool me. We've got an ancient vessel. This hunter may discard this card at the start of a merchant step to visit a different level of merchant. The other hunters must still purchase from the other... Ooh. So we could purchase from the big market. Either way, the round is done. We can now level up, which I'll do on camera, and we have the choices of trait, Heart of the Furnace, or trait, Forge Master. So we're not going to get any new attacks, but we will be able to get either Heart of the Furnace. After an enemy within 1 square suffers fire damage, do not remove that condition. That's amazing. Once during each merchant step, this hunter can reduce the cost when purchasing modification by any 1 resource. Nah. Heart of the Furnace. Oh my days, that's good. I don't think we'll be able to purchase too much from this next level, but we'll see. Right, I'm going to pause it up and we'll see where we go. That was really close, but we've got 1 more hunt before we go for the Sawtooth, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. I think we need new armour, but we'll see what we can get. Okay, hunt 4, and we are now in a position of power. I didn't go for a level 3 hunt, which means that I will not get level 3 abilities before I take on the Sawtooth, which is a massive, massive... It could be a big issue, but on the plus side, I do get to have an easy hunt before we take that on. So let me just finish setting up this board. So if we've got triangles, we are looking at ruins, and if we've got squares, we are looking at stones, which are impassable. That is triangle. That's another ruin. Wonderful, right. So we've got a grazer and a scrapper, which is a combination I've not experienced readily before, but we should be able to take these out. We do need to take both of them out this time, because this is a 4-point hunt and they're worth 2 points each. But let's see what we get. We got a backswing, prime the area, firewire, backswing, and a cleave. I am in a mind of that. I don't know. If we use prime the area, we could set up a trap there, backswing him into it, and make a big hit. But that's not going to be too much damage compared to what we could do. He's got 7 health. We've now got Heart of the Furnace, apologies, which does allow us to set up things a bit nicer. Let's go for it. Let's just go really hard. I'm going to prime the area. We're going to use a firewire trap. And we are going to choose to try and knock him into it with a cleave as a follow-up. So I've got a 4. Where's my other 4? Come on. There we go. Firewire trap set up there with our range of 2. And then we're going to move in for a backswing. Backswing. We have to make it a backswing. Move in. We're going to roll 4 orange because 2 for the backswing, 2 for the weapon. Oh, that is pretty good. So that's 4 damage. He's now alert. Sadly for us, the scrapper's now also going to be alert. 1. Oh, I've got some here. I'm going to put him on his actual card as well, just for ease. I've had something to eat and I've calmed myself down now, so hopefully I won't make as many mistakes. 2, 3, 4. But he's now on this trap, so we can remove this. And he will take fire damage no matter what. But he's going to get a blue and a orange against him. He's alert, but we need to do 4 damage in order to take him out now. Ooh, okay. We've got the critical, which doesn't give us anything, which is a shame. But we get to do 2 damage. And we definitely do fire. So that's going to be 1 damage. And we give him a fire token as well, because now he is on fire. He's well and truly alert, which is a shame for us. And we have got 1 more action we can take. I don't want him to run away, so we need to keep him in our area. I think we will be quite wise to just stick around him, because he's going to stay on fire if he's near us. We could just focus our entire attention to the scrapper now. No, we'll end our turn there, which is a shame because we're in a real bind, but we have to take it. We've gone for the big hit. It's more foolish. So everyone's alert. So this guy will move in for 1, make a 0 range 6 damage attack, and then move back out. I did manage to get some new armour. It's not what I want at all, because it now means that I have to move and dodge. But it is the Nora Survivor. I used the cup, the ancient cup that I found, that I was able to then access the level 3 stuff. We do get to roll 3 orange, which is nice, and a critical will give us 2 defense, and we get full resistance from all conditions, and we reduce damage suffered when it inflicts fire, ice, and lightning. So it's not bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a snob and I don't wear the Nora stuff because that's what Aloy wears in the video game. Don't be a peasant. Here we go. Okay, so we get 2 defense, 3 defense, 4 defense. So we get to block 4 of that. So we can... I'll discard this. We'll discard 1 of these. And then the Scrapper's going to do the exact same. Does the Grazer move back out? Move 1 away from closest sunset? Yes. The Scrapper will move in, do a 4 damage attack. I don't want to get rid of my cleaves, so let's just go 1, 2... Better roll these 3. Ooh. I'll grab that. Oh. I do need to make that dodge, so I'm actually going to dodge to here. He'll move in, he'll move out. And we block... Ooh, all 4! Oh, we dodge all 4 damage, nice. But we do have to move again. End of his turn, he would have taken another damage for the fire. Because of our fire forward, Heart of the Furnace, he won't lose that token either, which is handy. We do need to stay next to him though, because otherwise he will bolt and run. But we can now focus all our attention on this Scrapper, and we'd have had to dodge, and I'm just going to dodge back to here. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 to restock our hand. We've got backswing, firewire, and backswing. Cleave. Let's set the firewire up. This one should have been spent. With a 3 and a 3. And I'm going to shoot it to here behind. And I'm going to utilise the backswing afterwards to move into this guy's spot and try and knock him into it. We do damage, which is good. Oh, we do a lot of damage, goodness. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could potentially do 6. What's his health? 8. Let's give him 2 fire. No, let's give him 1 fire. It's going to be 1 fire. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. His defense is 1, so it's only 4 damage, and we can give him fire. So we're going to knock him back into this, which is going to be 4 damage. These damage tokens only come in increments of 1 and 5, and they're just double-sided back to back, which is good for, you know, saving the planet, but very hard to see against each other. He gets a fire token, and then because he's been knocked back into this trap, we activate this trap. We then get to roll an orange and the blue, and we get to do a 2nd fire damage to him, because this ability allows us to inflict multiple fire damage to enemies. Orange, blue. I don't actually think we needed to though. Oh no, we did. We did. Got a critical. Criticals don't do anything with traps. So that's just a single damage. So he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potentially at the end of this activation. We will start by activating the Grazer, who will move 1 into our area. Do a 6 damage attack, so we will dodge. Ooh! Oh, we actually dodged it. That is a perfect roll. We'd have to dodge out. He'd move one away, but then his activation ends, which then would kill him, because that would be the full 7 damage we need. I'll sort that out in a second. So we'd be able to gain 1 salvage. Luminous Binding. Braiding. Discard this card to pay the full resource cost of any item. Oh yes, that's what I like to see. So he's gone. That's 2. This guy then activates and he will move in, do a 4 damage attack. I'm just going to take a roll of 3. 2, 3, so we take 1 damage. He'll move back out and we have to dodge. I'm going to dodge into these ruins just on the off chance that he's able to get us. But then I'll do 2 damage to him for this 2 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more hit will take him. Let's draw up. Backswing. Backswing. I'm just going to use a backswing straight away. 4 orange. I only need 2 results. We've done it. He's taken out, which is good. Again, we get 2 salvage for him. 1 salvage metal shards, 2 salvage machine hearts. This hunt against 2 glory points. Not handy for us, but very cool nonetheless. And then there's nothing else to do on this. It does feel quite fast-paced as a solo, and there's a lot of maintenance between rounds, but I love the actual diversity of what you can choose to do and how to approach things. I could have taken that a very different way. I could have risked the grazer running. It does sort of tie you to priorities with what the actual enemies will do, but at the same time, it ensures that you've got variability in terms of how you're going to do it, which I do enjoy quite a lot. We will run the usual routine of I will have a look at the merchant shop for level 2, because that's what level I'm at, and we will get set up for that final hunt where we're going to try and take out, hopefully, a Sawtooth. Okay, final hunt, and I was able to purchase a single coil. After this attack is resolved, the hunter may make a dodge, which is a handling coil, apologies. And I also managed to buy a single new trap bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully, this all goes well. We're against the Striders, which are very common enemies, 6 health, no issue. But then we've also got this massive Sawtooth, which has 19 health, 2 defense, and actions based on a deck, not based on standardized reactions to things. So we are going to be looking to, as best we can, manipulate what he can do or is going to do, but I don't think we'll have much hope, unless we can keep track of what he has done or can do. So straight away, we've spawned here. I'm going to use Prime the area before I make a melee attack to use a ranged attack. We're going to use Firewire, and we're going to set up a trap, which I'm actually quite enjoying. I normally don't like it at all, but these traps are awesome. I can definitely see how in competitive you can cash in on this massively. Really, well, force people to get the kill for you. Anyway, we will use Backswing as our actual attack. We move into his area. Completely out of the blue, taken by surprise. He's got no chance of blocking this. That's going to be 4 orange that we can roll. Or 2, and we get the critical. So 2 is going to be 2 damage as a full. We're going to have to place it on him because there's more than 1 Strider out. He's now going to be alert, which is disappointing for us, but not end of world. But we also get the critical, we can either have as a single extra damage, or we can have it as fire. I'm going to have it as the single extra damage, because that might be what kills him, because then we can push him, activate this trap, which I am enjoying it quite a lot. And I get to roll a blue and orange. He's now got 1 defense. Oh, and we get a 4. That, you couldn't, it's poetic. It's poetic is what it is. We get a salvage card. Oh, metal shards. Those were not going to come in handy whatsoever. I was hoping for something I could spend to get bonuses out of. But that is 1 down. In this objective, you need, I think it's 5 hunt points. And unfortunately for us, the Striders are worth 1, but he's worth 5, and that is who we're going to have to go for. So he'll move 1 that way. He'll move... I've got another move, actually. Let's sneak to here. He'll move 1. He'll move 1. New round. We've got 2 cards. Let's roll 1, 2, 3. I don't mind those cards, so let's see what we get. We've got backswing, 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 cleave, backswing. So we are very heavy with this, which is doesn't give us a lot of ranged opportunity. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to craft, which allows me to put these 3 cards, shuffle them back into the deck. So that's almost like extra health. You've almost restored a little bit. And then we're going to sneak 1 here. He'll move there. He'll move there. We're almost, well, he's almost escaped, but he's not gonna. He's not gonna. Let's get rid of these 3 backs. Let's get rid of 2 backswings. Draw 2 cards. Prime the area, firewire. This is what I'm talking about. So we are going to. We're going to sneak to here. We're going to prime the area, which allows us to make our firewire trap setup, the classic that we keep on using because it just works. Place it there. So we've got a firewire trap set up just in front of him. And then we're going to use backswing to just knock his block off. It's not going to be as big a hit as we could do because at the minute he's got no armour while he's not aware of us. But we do get to roll 4 oranges and see what we get from that. So, 3, 3, let's move into his spot. Ooh, it's a good hit. We hit him for 5. And that means that I can just use a 5 token. Yes! Awesome. He's now aware of us. But we can knock him into this trap and activate it. The firewire gives us the ability to set him on fire, which he will stay on fire while he's in one of us, and then we get to roll a blue and an orange. I think we might not be tanky enough to just take the hits with him. 4? So 2 damage. Alright, things are going our way. Can't manipulate a dice roll either, well, as far as I'm aware. He will activate first, and this is the part where we reveal a card, and our fingers crossed. So the Sawtooth. Is the hunter in the same square? No, we've knocked him out. So he's going to move 2 towards us. That's 1. And then he's going to, if he can, which he can, make a range 1 7 damage attack. 7 damage to us. So we'll roll our 3 orange to see how much we can actually dodge. We can dodge 4, so we're going to take 3 damage. 1. I'll get rid of the backswing. 1. I'll get rid of the cleave. 2. Oh, it's my shock wire. How annoying. I need that. We dodge, so we'd have to move out of his square. The Strider's just going to do his thing. He's off. He's had enough. He's not messing about with this noise. Right, back to us. I get a full hand at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Stamina's great. I'm just going to keep those in hand and spend them. So we've got backswing, Searing Strike. He'd take another damage for the fire. And of course he'd stay on fire. Melee, we can use fire, we can make it explosive fire, but that's not necessary. 2 stamina. Well, let's first craft, which will allow us to take 3 from the bottom. Shuffle them into our deck. And then we are going to use Searing Strike. This ability can only be used when we use the melee attack, so our attack gains fire no matter what. So let's give him the fire straight away. That's 2 fires he's got. And we're going to use Cleave, which is a nice big hit. So we move into his area. 2 orange and a blue. So we could potentially do 7 damage if we get a perfect roll. Not bad. 4 damage. So it's going to be 2 because of his 2 armour. No bonus effect other than the fire we've given him. Let's just flip that. So he's got 19 health left, which is incredible because we're going very much toe-to-toe with him. We're very close. So we crafted and we've attacked. It's the end of our turn. We've got these 2 staminas to burn in a second if we get hit, which we definitely will. Sawtooth will now activate and he is going to Ah, so he's going to strike us twice. So a range 1 6 damage attack, then a range 1 6 damage attack. So that's 12 damage we could potentially be taking. That's not good. So, first one, we dodge 3, so we lose 3, so I'm going to lose these 2 stamina and this one. Oh, I never primed the area. I do like those. I'll dodge here, then he'll do the same again. Oh, range 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take 2 damage. 1, 2. Oh, annoying. Let's draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's dodge. He moves there, sorry. Let's dodge to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got a firewire. So if he's going to move towards us, we could actually set up quite nicely. We'll have a drawn 5, that's the backswing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I'll scrap that backswing. More fool me, I'll take the loss, it's my fault. Firewire, 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 and a backswing. I'm going to use firewire and set up a trap that he will definitely walk into. 3 and 3. He'd have taken 2 damage from the fire, but because I'm not next to him anymore, he loses all of that fire, which is a bit disappointing. But it does mean that we've only got 7 damage to deal to him now. And then I'm going to restock. 1, 2, 3. Unlike scrappers, these guys don't have any ranged attacks, which is quite handy for us. But at this point it is just about trying to survive. His turn. And he is going to... Oh! Is the hunter within 1 square? No. Move 2 towards us and do a 1 damage... 1 range 7 damage attacks. That's what he's going to do. So he moves 1, activates that trap straight away. So he's once again on fire, which is nice. And he will roll... I'll roll for my defense. 4, so I'll lose 3 cards. So 1 stamina, 2... I'll lose a firewire. That's a backswing. Onto us. I think I've got myself a bit confused there, haven't I? I've defended instead of using the actual firewire damage. I've got my defense, I know what he's going to hit me for. Let's roll for the damage that we do to him. 2, and we have a critical, but criticals don't do anything on traps, so just 2, which is his defense and nothing happens. We'd have to dodge out. I'm going to choose to dodge to here, just save myself a bit of space. The Strider will leave the area. Oh, goodness. We've got 2. He'll take 1 damage for the fire, and he will keep the fire as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 8, 13. 1, 2, 3. We do just need to heal at this point, I'm afraid. Backswing, firewire, firewire, backswing, backswing. Not the cards I wanted, I was hoping for the big hit. So he's on 13 damage, so he's got 6 health left. I could firewire behind him, backswing him into it, but that means that I then just need to survive the actual hits that he'll give. Alternatively, I could heal 6, have more cards in my availability, but I don't know what his final attack is. But because I don't know what his final attack is, that could be a case of I've had all the big damage and it is now just he's just going to start trying to move away from us, get a bit of a distance. So I'll use Firewire, I am going to do it. Classic combo. Set up for that. And then I'll use Backswing to knock him into it. So we move into his square. That's a good roll. It's 4, so that's 2 damage. So we'll just flip this. So he's only got 4 health now. Oh. He'll move into this trap, which is then a blue and an orange, and he does fire damage as well. Blue, orange. That's not a bad roll either. That's 1 damage. Another fire that he will retain because he is next to me. And then it's his turn to strike, and he's going to hit us with Oh no, that's a massive hit. Move 1 towards us. Range 1, 6 damage, range 1, 6 damage. And that isn't even like an alternative, that is just a clear cut. He does that damage. No. This might be the end. It's definitely the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, so I lose 2. That would have gone. 2. We dodge out of the way. That's cocked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We lose 1. We are 2 cards short of survival. Because what happens now is that we would have to draw up, and we can't. And I believe that if we cannot draw up, then we are out. Yeah, what would happen is it would now be my activation. I can't draw. So I'd faint. I'm exhausted. My activation would end immediately. He'd have taken 2 damage. 1, 2. Oh, that might actually work. Enemies would all activate. He'd activate. He wouldn't do anything. He'd take the damage, which would be 1, 2, 3. That'd be enough to kill him. I think that might be a win. Because we still have the activation phase for the enemies, which would result in his death. End of his activation, he'd have taken that 2 fire. I'd have activated, I'd have fainted. He still has those fire because he's next to me. Then, what would happen is, he'd activate, nothing would happen because there's no enemies to hunt. He would then take the 2 damage and faint or be destroyed. And then we've won. But I've fainted, and I've fainted the number of times there are hunters, which means it's a loss. I believe this is a draw. I don't know how, but I've managed to get a draw. Oh well, that was brilliant fun, and I always enjoy playing this game. Like I've said previously, I love the diverse number of actions you can take, the actual freedom you've got. A lot of the actual business side and the action happens with the cards, but I love the visuals of the enemies hunting each other, chasing, moving. And with more players, it's more interactive because a player moves, all enemies activate. A player moves, all enemies activate. So you need to really be strategic in how you perform. Because if one hunter activates, this big boy runs away, that he's going to be chasing everyone else except for him. So you could really be a bit of a pain and cause lots of problems for the others, but I guess that's just the competitive nature of it. I'm not as big a fan of the competitive. I love the cooperative, working with one other player. I've not tried it with 3 or 4. Mainly I've just been playing this solo, and I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, this has been my playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game, the core set, where I have managed to get a perfect draw against the Sawtooth. Am I a good hunter? Absolutely not. But you know what? My Oseram has fumbled his way through the proving grounds and managed to actually make it to the Hunter's Call. Thank you ever so much for sticking around. I'll catch you next time.